So how... I got interrupted. How do you break a voice lock?
You do it with a damn good impersonation.
Sadly, we lack John Coleshaw here. Doing impersonations. Literally the only impressions I can think of off the top of my head. I don't hear much of him anymore.
Rory Bremner?
Yeah, I don't hear much of him anymore either.
It's not really the age of impressionists anymore.
No, I still like John Coleshaw's Tom Baker.
He
could actually fool you or something.
I suppose the other way of doing it would be via a recording.
Yes, a recording.
That is all that remains of the maintenance officer, Master.
In theory, I'd probably say that's about the best chance you're going to get for it.
Which means we have to go digging for... Well, first we need to find something to record it on. Because this is a Star Wars universe, iPhones don't exist.
All that technology.
Well, it's a long time ago, and this is an even longer time ago.
Yeah, it's true.
Even though technology in the Star Wars universe doesn't really change at all. They've always had spaceships, they've always had lightsabers, well not always had lightsabers.
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone there! Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop, please!
Addendum.
Okay.
Communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life.
I've got to say, this droid has a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to bedside manner.
Oh yes, Master.
Well, it's based on K-47, who also has a great bedside
5 droids,
personality.
burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay.
Yeah, we went there before
Please,
once.
someone there! Oh no, they're
See,
through!
what we got ahead was a thing to record, so we need to go digging back through the logs we found and find certain things to record. Then we'll splice it all together
To create the code
to
phrase.
create the code phrase, which you already told us last week. Yeah, we get it. That's one done. We have 3 to collect.
It's a long thing to have to do as well.
Well, just shooting the door off. I hear droids. Oh, this is me checking. Old games have a weird thing where they change what buttons the quick save and the quick load. This is me checking. Otherwise, I get the wrong button and the whole thing falls apart. See, nowadays quick save's F5 and quick load's F9. Back in those days, quick save was F4 and quick load was F5. Keep changing these things. More droids. There'll be a lot of droids. Why does a mine droid have a poison grenade launcher?
There are many questions
What
that
well,
we
lasers
have.
lasers and concussive grenades I'll give you for mining droids. They could be used to mine. What part does poison gas come into mining?
I don't know.
Has the droid canary really pissed them off and they're just gonna kill it anyway? I assume they have a canary, or a Star Wars equivalent of a canary.
What, like sensors?
Yes. That would be the Star Wars equivalent of canary.
Which is also the modern equivalent of the canary.
Peter doesn't let you take canaries down to mines anymore. It's deemed inhumane. Well, this is Peter, everything's deemed inhumane. To them, Pokemon's the curse of all evils.
Are you going to go on one of your rants?
No, do I need to? Most people I know make fun of Peter these days because of the shit they pull. I think it started in how they didn't like Assassin's Creed 4.
Why didn't they like a Assassin's Creed?
Whaling. You go whaling in Assassin's Creed 4.
Right, okay.
Proper Moby Dick style. See, the bipedal droids.
Oh, those ones.
Those ones.
This looks slightly odd, I will admit.
Are you going to complain about the legs again? How the legs aren't strong enough?
No. Oddly enough, I like these ones because they remind me of a sort of a stylized Frankenstein, actually. Particularly the heads, actually, if you look at them.
I don't know. Look at them
If you notice their head, if they appear again.
Ah! Sorry, right by the door.
I was going to say, if you look at their heads,
yes.
there's a sort of a stylized, and the whole thing about it is very tall and imposing. It reminds me of a sort of a stylized Frankenstein look.
I'm sure that's what they were going for.
Probably was. I'm surprised. It's a big hulking, brutish thing with a quite long face.
That's what you all know. Frankenstein can be improved if you shot lasers.
It makes me think of Frankenstein. It might just be me, of course. I have no idea. Specifically, of course, it's the Boris Karloff Frankenstein.
The original.
It's the original film version of Frankenstein, as opposed to the book, which is based on, of course, which is a completely different description of the monster.
Are we going to go back to the book was better thing?
Well, the book, as with many versions, the book is a source material, and all films, I always say, they are based on the book. There's no such thing as a perfectly faithful version of any film based purely on the book. They always take sort of licenses about it, because there are limits when it comes to filmmaking. We've talked about this.
Unless you're Peter Jackson and you make an 8-hour-long version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but even then there are parts you can't do, because the difference is when you're writing a book, there's no such thing as a budget. You can write and describe anything you want. Putting that on the screen, well, that requires a budget. There's only a certain amount that companies are prepared to do. And even then, there's a certain amount that audiences are prepared to deal with in terms of, like you said, like a full-length thing. Most books, most film versions will remove bits that the director seems not unnecessary,
not mandatory,
they feel this plot can make sense without those scenes, and very often it does. They can remove it and the plot flows on, but sometimes those scenes where people will go with, oh, I really like that scene, that's one of my favourite bits, or it's a bit that means a lot or has a deeper meaning and things like that, and is important to the character but not to the plot.
Like the Quidditch World Cup.
Yes, as one of those.
Still annoyed they cut that.
It adds to the world building element of things. It adds to some of the things that happen, the wider sense of all, but we don't see it. Like exactly that. The Quidditch World Cup.
I told the droid not to worry. The KOTOR wouldn't.
All these messages end always ominously.
With the protocol droid's help, I made some upgrades to the sonic imprint sensor.
So he got a motorbike, he's got like this riding goggles. You used to have them
before
visors existed on the helmet.
I do like those goggles.
I assume they're welding,
Must be.
I think he's got a motorbike, space motorbike somewhere. Didn't List have one of those in the early seasons of Red Dwarf? A space bike.
He had a bike that he rode around the corridors. I'm not sure it was a space bike. You never see him outside of it.
Well, good, in the 80s, the budget would never allow that.
To be fair, they never rode it in space because the main premise of Red Dwarf was they stayed on the ship. It was only from season 3 they started kind of going off ship.
And then season 5 or 6 they lost Red Dwarf. Well, they were on Starbucks.
6. Yeah, it was 6. Because the main reason they decided to, they were a bit limited in terms of leaving the ship, which is why they introduced the idea of Crichton passing his driving test in Starbug. Because otherwise the whole thing was the only person who can actually pilot it, or that has been established that knows how to pilot it, is Lister. Because Rimmer can't do it because he's a hologram. Cat can't fly because he doesn't know how. Yeah, he does become, though of course later he does become.
He also learns how to smell in space.
There are many situations.
Raises questions how that works.
At the same time, though, I think of all the TV programs you and I like, Red Dwarf is the one that we give the most kind of.
It's a comedy show, not a science fiction show.
Exactly.
It's trying to be funny, right? It's trying to have. And now Doctor Who, that pisses me off when they fuck around continuity on that. But I think on that last one we got number 2 of our recordings, and the third one's one we've already heard before.
Which one?
From the security guy's desk.
Oh, those ones. I thought it meant our recording. I'm thinking of recordings of what, Sean? What were you?
What?
This is the first time we've watched this film.
What have you been recording?
You've been doing stuff without me.
Yeah. That flashing red light, you see the corner of your flat. Just ignore it. It's totally not recording things you say and do. That I can then blackmail you with later. This place needs a tram. And a paint job. It's very grey.
Everything's grey in the Star Wars universe.
That's alright. Korriban's not grey, Korriban's red.
Maintenance, control. Voice print, ID, R1, beep 5.
That would so not work on modern day voice recognition software.
But this isn't modern day, as you said. This is from a long time
ago. Longer time ago. About 4,000 years, give or take. Before. That's 4,000 years before episode, because Star Wars continuity is done from episode 4. That's when they base things around. Because it was the first film. So now the airlock's open and go for another spacewalk.
Hey.
Everyone likes spacewalks. But first, some epic leveling up action. Come on, this is what RPGs are all about, man. Let's level up. That moment when you get the level up. The moment we all live for. That's how
I mean, it's the main thing that you think of, really, isn't
That's
it?
how WoW keeps going. Blizzard have mastered the art of addictive level ups. Hey, look, mines. Or any MMO, you could argue, is designed around that concept. This is how I clear minefields with grenades. I was not very good at Minesweeper. Does anyone know how to play? I don't know one person who actually knows how to play Minesweeper.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
The only person I know that actually knows. Because it comes on every version of Windows. I assume it's Windows 10. Never look for it.
It's one of my supervisors, Callum. He can play. He's very good at it.
He's next. Yeah, it's just...
He's pretty good at it. I've no idea if he's listening.
Hey, spacesuit.
Wow. That is...
We spacewalked him in the last game at one point.
I know, but wow, the walking animation is...
Yeah, it's interesting. We've hit Mach 3 basically. That's what's happened. Super speed in space.
You barely move. It's like the legs just a little bit of wiggle, but you're moving forward at a very fast rate.
See, there's no air resistance in space.
It's just the rates. It's just hilarious.
Except I'm picking you up on the exterior of the facility, on the asteroid's surface. That can't be right.
See, the suit looks kind of intimidating a little bit.
Well, it's devised, you can't see a face.
No, the whole thing. It's big, it's bulky, it looks quite scary.
And no face.
Trouble is, as soon as you move, all that threat credibility just vanishes.
Goes from Star Trek to Red Dwarf in one leg movement.
Venting systems have gone active.
It's more like a Benny Hill sketch than anything.
Oh, I should have put that over it.
It really does remind me of a Benny Hill sketch because he's moving really quickly. It's just
I need like some Sith chasing me.
Can't. I'm locked out of the main system. Shut it down if I tried. The vents look like...
If you wanted to go proper Benny Hill, it would be you chasing a scantily clad woman, then being chased away by her husband, then a bunch of police officers chasing after you, and you chasing after a bunch of police officers. If we wanted to go full Benny Hill here.
There's a ship coming in, sending a docking code. I have a bad
And that's a comedy
feeling
show that
about
you
this.
couldn't make nowadays.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you couldn't make these days. Blazing Saddles is one of them.
Mel Brooks said about that in an
Yeah, he
interview,
got...
He said there's one reason it couldn't, it was the N-word.
Yeah, it's just...
That was a thing, that's the one reason he couldn't make it nowadays. Oh, hello. Cutscene animation.
Or lack thereof. Because nothing's actually moving, other than the camera.
Alright, rephrase it. Cutscene.
Yes, it's a...
Cool.
I say it does atmosphere very well. Let's go.
Well, he looks like a happy chappy.
Such a Jedi. It's clearly. I might need to moisturise though.
Well, I suspect nothing bad's gonna happen
He will be our
involving him.
friend. No.
He'll be our new best friend.
We'll talk to him. We will talk about our differences and. But for one guy, he's piloting that ship very, very well.
Isn't he, though?
He's a good pilot. Yeah. He passed his space driving exam. Because I assume there is one. Although if you're a Jedi, you just can because fuck it. A ship looks not big enough to me. Especially when you go aboard it. Especially when you go aboard it, like 3 or 4 decks. I'm like, all right, back in slowly. Come on, lads. I feel like I should get those luminous beacon things and just wave them in.
Slowly does it.
Just crashes to the asteroid. He embeds it in the asteroid. All right. Just a little bit more. Do you want it to sound like a gearbox being wrecked? I feel like everything in this cutscene is 60 FPS, but that animation that ship is not. Alright, ladies and lads. Heave ho.
Heave ho.
People pulling it in by rope.
Gently now.
Good job all spaceships are uniform and where their fuel ports are. I think Darth Vader's somewhere. assume it's the spacesuit.
Must be. Ooh.
That's not almost. It just doesn't look big enough to me. Alright, here's for the funny animation again. Suddenly this isn't serious anymore. Now what this needs is Dead Space 2's jetpack, and you fly around in zero gravity. That would be fun.
We've not done Dead Space 2 yet, have we? I know it's on our list of things to do.
Oh, we did Dead Space 1. Dead Space 2 is, I don't say less scary, but more in your face. Literally the first thing you see in that game is someone right up and close get turned into a necromorph. Like, well, subtlety's out the window.
I was going to say, what exactly did you mean by in your face? It's very 90s in terms of
literally,
in your
it's
face.
like a foot away from your face it happens. The guy grabs you and holds you really close while it happens. It's like the animation team were really proud of their animations. I wanted to show it off.
Is it something they should be proud of? I'm sure we'll get around to seeing it.
It's good looking, but it kind of kills horror. It becomes silly. In my view, horror is something unsettling and subtle. Puts you on edge and you don't know why.
Well, we've had lengthy conversations about this in terms of horror and thriller and everything like
blood,
that.
guts, scream in your face.
A part of me would argue that's what modern horror
To me, that stops being scary and very quickly becomes funny. But any extreme violence to me eventually becomes funny. Overused, so point.
As it becomes to the point of, like you said, overuse and it's sort of exaggerated. It's become sort of parody.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just nicking all their shit. Because I can. Oh. Onward! I'm glowing orange. Awesome! That means I'm about to go Super Saiyan. Although I need much spikier hair for that. Oh, worst enemy in this game is the fire extinguishers. I'm not joking, they are the fire extinguishers that attack you. With Mr. Freeze's freeze gun. Would that put a fire out? What is that freeze gun made out of? I.e. the projector. To work out if that would actually put out.
I don't know.
Comic book science is just stuff.
Yes, I would argue that's definitely the science they've used for this.
If you fire like liquid nitrogen at a fire, but would that put a fire? I probably would. It would suffocate the fire. Lack of oxygen.
The heat temperature would do it as well.
That only works on chemical fires. Damn it! Wait, which?
Well, fire needs 3 things to burn. You need 3 things for there to be.
GCSE chemistry coming in here.
You need 3 things for combustion. You need fuel, oxygen, and heat. Those are the 3 things that you need for combustion. If you can remove one of them, you can prevent it. So in theory, liquid nitrogen could do the job.
Get Mythbusters on this.
Or going for a bit more modern, because I believe Mythbusters.
Yeah, they don't get on it, you know.
No, they get on in a professional capacity, but not as personal friends. Which is understandable. There's a difference between a professional relationship and a personal relationship.
Kind of irritating after the long term.
But Mythbusters isn't on anymore.
No, not anymore. Not for ages.
It's finished now. The current one though is White Rabbit Project, which is on Netflix.
Sounds like it Alice in Wonderland.
It's the build team.
Ah.
So Carrie, Toy, and Grant. It's very good. I watched it last week. In the last couple of weeks, I've been watching it.
Is that a recommendation?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
If you like Mythbusters, watch this. Hey, my star actually worked.
Yeah, so the last Mythbusters series was 2016, last year.
No, it was not anymore.
So White Rabbit Project is.
Alright, we'll get them on to test this thing out. That's just assuming that's what Mr. Freeze's gun fires. It could be anything.
It's never really stipulated, but it makes the most sense for it to be something
anyone really
involving
cares outside of really obsessed nerds about what exactly that gun fires.
Oh, it's the same thing for most of those things, though. It's like very rare for any of the sort of the side. It's like saying what actually is Joker venom and Joker gas.
Nitrous oxide just amped up to 11. To be fair, nitrous oxide can kill you.
Yes, but it doesn't cause that physical. That's because of you die from essentially asphyxiation.
Yeah. Well, you can laugh yourself to death. Again, you'll die from asphyxiation.
again, it's fixation, but as is often shown, Joker gas doesn't cause you to laugh to death. Very often it causes it is a form of venom, and the whole thing with the face that distorts your face.
Well, that was originally done in the animated series because they couldn't just have Joker shoot someone.
Yes.
Which 9 times out of 10 is what he'll do, or just blow you up. It was a way of, and as Bruce Timm said, arguably made it a lot worse in terms of horrific. But hey, senses of the time, making them laugh and. Because Joker these days Joker's just shoots you, fucker, and blows you up. I ain't got time for this shit. With Dark Knight in this, just blow fuckers up.
Which would you argue is more faithful?
It depends on the Joker. The Joker's been 70 years from very, very silly to, you know, I mean, what would you consider the best Joker or the most horrific Joker story? Usually we go with the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
It's the most horrific things. You know, it varies from the Joker you're going for. Even the animated series Joker went from very, very silly at times to Return of the Joker. Even Mark of the Phantasm, he's not a pleasant individual in that. What you want your Joker to be. I will get this lockpick eventually. There we are. 3rd time's the charm. What would you want your Joker to be?
Mine?
Yes.
My Joker, essentially, I would usually say 9 times out of 10 is just Mark Hamill.
Wherever, just him. Even the Killing Joke, which no one liked, apparently.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't. I just hear a lot of people didn't like it. Which is weird because it's the one thing they've wanted an adaptation of for years. Was the Killing Joke. So it's one thing to get Mark Hamill back to the Joker.
I have watched it.
Oh.
You do feel like the first half is kind of unnecessary.
Well, they have to. It's not a long story.
No. Their version of Joker is quite scary. It's a very different one as well because it's kind of Joker being a bit more psychological.
Oh. What's Alan Moore?
Yeah, that makes sense.
In what even he calls was a pile of tripe, apparently. That's his official opinion on the story.
Yeah, but he hates everything he writes.
I think he hates everything.
9 times out of 10. There's
he
very
hates
little that
adaptations
says.
of everything he writes, but that's Alan Moore in a nutshell. Just hates everything. He's the ultimate nerd. He just hates everything. All these droids. Okay, why does the fire droid have a laser? Again, that seems counterproductive to your goal. Oh, we found the canteen. Awesome. Alright, I'll have a yeah, that's what should be playing wherever you go to canteen. Well, this is a canteen, not a cantina, which are basically pubs.
Fair enough.
Which are basically pubs, like a PG way of saying a pub, or a tavern if you want the true fancy saying.
Or a bar, really, isn't it?
Yeah, bar, yeah, CD bar kind of thing. Whereas canteen is in where the workers, I assume, come for their food, for their shepherd's pie, wherever you eat in canteens.
Or specifically.
I don't know. Shepherd's pie is something that seems easy to make.
You ready for this? I've literally looked up the definition for the word.
What, canteen?
A cantina is a type of bar popular in Mexico and Spain. The word is similar in etymology to canteen and is derived from the Italian word for a cellar, winery, or vault. In Italy, a cantina refers to a room below the ground level where wine and other products such as salami are stored. The term cantina entered the French language in circa 1710 as a cantine. It was originally used to refer to the shop of a sutler. If you want to know what a sutler is, bear with me.
Was the John Hurt's character in that?
It is John Hurt's character from Vendetta,
Yeah,
you're right. Interesting. A sutler,
It's John Hurt.
or victualler, is a civilian merchant who sells provisions to an army in the field, in camp, or in quarters. Sutlers sold wares from the back of a wagon or a temporary tent, travelling with an army or to remote military outposts. Sutler wagons were associated with the military, while chuck wagons served a similar purpose for civilian wagon trains and outposts.
Fascinating. What's a
So
temporary?
essentially, they're merchants that sold their products and provisions to the military, and they followed like armies around. a very specific thing to be doing, really.
Well, it's pretty good business.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's just an interesting line of work. It's the idea of you are a merchant. You are a civilian merchant. You sell your provisions to the army. The army can camp. They can be in the field or in quarters. And
it's the middle of battle. Hold it. Salami.
Essentially, as you follow them around.
And what's the saying? An army marches on its stomach. Don't feed the troops; they get really annoyed.
The word came to English from Dutch, where it appears as Sotala or Zotala. Originally it meant one who does dirty work, a drudge, a scullion. And it derives from Zotellen. If anyone is listening who speaks Dutch, I do apologise.
Dutch a lot more in it.
And that word I just said, Zotellen, means to foul or sully.
The transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift,
which is a word cognate with suds, hot soapy water, seethe, to boil, and sodden.
Sir, couldn't we contact the medbay? Maybe the Jedi's awake. If so, she could help us.
No good.
Why is this only aspect ratio on the top?
Even if the Jedi wakes up, how would we get the dormitory turbo lift code to her? Without it, the turbo lift to the administration level is locked down.
Here we are. Cantina in the US is simply a tavern with a southwestern or Mexican motif that serves traditional alcoholic Mexican drinks. In the 1890s, cantina entered American English from the Spanish language in the southwestern United States with the meaning of barroom, saloon.
Since Quarter and his crew aren't locked in here with us, it's pretty clear.
Tatooine's in Mexico. I knew it.
We'll build a wall.
Actually, Tatooine's in Tunisia, but
that's the film set. And if memory serves, it got taken over by ISIS, didn't it, some years ago?
Now that's a Star Wars film I would watch. Jedi versus ISIS.
Wasn't that part one of the things?
I don't know.
I have a vague recollection.
I don't know where the houses are in Tunisia, if the actual houses do exist. They just add stuff in them, like the water the water evaporator, whatever you pronounce it. That creates
the transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift, wind, or
how good are you at code breaking?
Code is a simple
Not me personally.
Yeah.
Not great.
Solve the last 2 digits of this code.
Then the next
it's not
two
exactly
numbers
hard. This is me now frantically searching for a pen because my memory's fucking terrible. And I don't remember codes. Solve this puzzle. And
I mean, you seem to be alright at it because we tend to play games that have quite a lot of sort of puzzle breaking and things like that. Though I am equally aware of you normally have a guide whilst you're playing a lot of these games.
I do Phoenix Wright, otherwise if I'm playing it how I actually play a Phoenix Wright game, it's save, go through everything, that doesn't work, reboot the save, try again with other stuff. Yeah, let's keep Phoenix Wright moving. The guide. Otherwise it will be 4 hours on one scene. Okay, I will solve this. I don't really get puzzles in games anymore. Like proper old school puzzles that did require a pen and paper to solve. Nowadays things are... It's like Portal 2's puzzle solving. There's always one bit of wall, and the only bit of wall you can put a portal on. And it kind of ruins the solve. It goes from puzzle solving to spot the difference. I should point out these miners were locked in here and then gassed. That's why they're all dead. They all got gassed. That's the green stuff. And I'm now going through looting their bodies. And their stuff. Oh. Because why not? They don't need it. Hey, now we're dual wielding. Dual wielding swords. It became awesome. You can dual wield in your left hand, i.e. because all characters in video games are right-handed.
That's just shameful.
Well, clearly it's bigotry towards left-handed people.
Well, there is a natural thing towards it, isn't it? It's the whole thing about the majority thought.
Yes. And so you can use certain weapons in your left hand, balanced weapons, because you're weaker in that hand, then the combat falls apart because fuck the combat in these games. And it's dice rolls.
We managed to get to the dormitory.
Oh, that's a lot of things.
We should be safe here. We've been trying to use the holo transmitter to beam a transmission to the administration level to end the lockdown. But the administration console's been severed from the main hub. Everyone thinks we should try to evacuate on our own as soon as possible. There's no way to break the dormitory seals from the inside. I'm going to keep sending distress calls in the meantime.
That seems like a design flaw.
What does?
You can't open the dormitories from the inside. Seems like you might want that in situations.
Yes, it does seem rather counter.
Who made this place? Oh, the Empire. Next thing.
Was it the Empire?
No. Didn't even Sith Empire anymore. There's some Sith running around and starting on the... Is it Magic Stars again? Me and my hair. My immaculately plucked eyebrows.
Are you just mocking because it's well groomed?
Yes.
Jealousy is not an attractive feature, Sean.
I could be well groomed for you, though. You can't see me.
Sure, I know
pluck
you.
my elbows. Elbows? I
You
pluck my
pluck
elbows.
your elbows, do you?
I do, all the time.
I think you might be getting a slightly different one.
That explains why it doesn't work. When you say it to a girl, they just look at you quizzically and walk away.
Do you know I plucked my elbows this evening?
Uh-huh. I'm just gonna go over here now.
It might be a long time before a ship picks up the message. After all, who would be
So, time for a game of Scrabble is what you're saying. Good, I brought the Scrabble board. Everyone likes
The
Scrabble.
transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift when or if help arrives.
Yeah, we've been here before.
Code is a simple group of
It-
5 numbers.
That code always fuck with me because X means 5, not 10.
Then the next 2 numbers are
And that annoys me. That's wrong. But X means 5, not 10. No, the game throws a massive curveball at you in the end. How to actually get the code. Onwards! Through this gas. Oh, I am wearing a breath mask, but you can't see it because I made all the headgear invisible.
Right.
Otherwise you can't take the conversation seriously and got this massive pair of goggles on. And now I have full speed so I can run a lot faster. Whee! Full speed. The most fun. Force power. Oh, I found KOTOR. What? His body. Do you remember the code?
No, should I?
Yeah. Come
For
on.
one thing, I'm not actually playing.
Come on, it's like watching a detective show. You try and solve it as you go,
I don't.
don't you?
Not for our videos, no.
No, I meant just generally watching detective
Oh, generally,
shows.
yeah, of course. Generally, in detective shows, I try and work
Poirot
out,
was always
yeah.
easy because I've read most of the books.
Almost didn't make it out of the door
I
for a
know
section
it,
before
that
the
guy.
lockdown, you murklack.
Well, the case for you then is you're trying to work out as you read the book.
And this was the Murder on the Orient Express, in which they fucked around with. And there's another film that coming out.
There is with Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
No, they must be trying to use
Another
the
one.
relay system to send an emergency signal. Doubt they know what's really going on.
hey, this turbo lift.
Quite a big cast, actually. A lot of big names.
Well, the original one had
Try the code
the
again.
original
and
one
don't
before they
worry
sushi
about
one
the miners and their transmission.
had
By the time
a
help
supremely good
arrives,
cast.
we'll be all the way to Nar Shaddaa.
To Wikipedia.
Oh, I know it's Sean Connery, isn't it?
Explosion within the tunnel has damaged the ventilation.
He played the
systems,
colonel, whose
causing
name I've
breaches
forgotten.
in the core exhaust conduits.
What? That's going
They
to
should
kill
bring
them
the
all.
Orient Express back. I miss the days of luxurious train travel.
You mean the 1974 one?
Is that the one with Sean Connery and...
This
Yes.
turbo
Yes,
lift
that one.
locked down.
So, the cast for the 1974 film was Albert Finney as Hercule Poirot, Ingrid Bergman, Sean Connery.
The Jedi is all that interests
There was
me.
a
Then you had to ruin everything by revealing her
Colonel
identity and
Arbuthnot.
then trying
Yes, the
to harm
Colonel.
her.
John Gielgud, Vanessa Redgrave, Anthony Perkins. There's a lot of big names in there.
Yeah, that was not
Crude, and soon deceased.
Whereas the new one, 2017 one, which is coming out not long from now actually.
There's not much of 2017 left. No.
Yeah, it's being released on 10th of November. So it's got Kenneth Branagh, Penelope Cruz,
Ken Branagh. You're on that terms with him.
Willem Dafoe, Judi Dench,
William
Johnny Depp-
Dafoe!
Willem Dafoe, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley, Derek Jacobi, Olivia Colman. Some very good actors. I look forward to seeing it.
It's only fun the first time you watch Murder Express.
Yeah, because you know
don't twig what's actually going on and go, unless they're going to fuck around with it again, like they did with the David Suchet one. Try and do something different, but no, the plot twist in the Murder Express is great because it's just not what you expect.
There was a 2001 made-for-television film of it.
David Suchet. There's also a game of that.
No, and not the David Suchet one. Oh. In 2001, there was a made-for-TV film with Alfred Molina as Poirot.
I can't imagine him as Poirot.
He's the only actor whose name I kind of recognise.
Well, that's probably says a lot of why.
No, some of the others I recognise when I see their like who it is. I go, oh yeah, I recognise them, but I don't know them by name.
Oh.
But yes, it's Alfred Molina as Hercule Poirot.
I can't imagine that.